Well, I think it can work. I just basically think that we've got to, and it's not just because I'm 57. I think obviously as you get older, you change your outlook a little bit, and you start thinking about different things. You want to stay in shape, but you also are thinking about your health a lot more. But I've always found it interesting, although I suppose I'm a heavy user compared to somebody, an average member of the public, and I have been most of my life. But I've also been determined. I've also been focused a little bit more on the health aspect of it, because I've actually got a chronic illness that I've had since I was 28 years old. And it's not just I was diagnosed with hyperthyroidism when I was 28. It's something that's in my family. My mother had it. My mother's sister had it. My sister's okay. Normally it affects females more than men. But I got it. So I ended up being a high level sports person. I had to change my direction in life because at the time it wasn't quite so well managed as it is now. And I take a tablet, a thyroxine tablet every day, and it's called Hashimoto's thyroiditis. And this is something that affects millions and millions of people around the world. I think 5% of people in the United States, 5% of Spain, 5% of people in the UK. Is it inconvenient? Yes, it is a little bit sometimes. It has been, but I've managed that with exercise and a fitness lifestyle. So, look, I'm not perfect. I live well. I enjoy a glass of wine like most people. But, exercise has really, really helped me to manage that. And it's made, obviously with a lower thyroid level, you never get it quite right. And, the metabolism can be a bit sluggish from time to time. But so I suppose, I've not been evangelical about it, but I've always felt that, we're missing a trick a little bit in the industry. So although I was seen as a heavy trainer, there was a reason behind it. More muscle mass, better metabolism. It kickstarts my metabolism. So I probably work out, most days of the week, because if I don't, I notice I get a bit sluggish probably quicker than somebody who doesn't have this illness. So, it's always been a passion of mine to look at that, and I've always been drawn towards people, more towards people doing fitness for their health rather for the aesthetic. The aesthetic is great, looking good, feeling good. I get that completely, but there's a massive opportunity for a healthcare market, and I think this is, without being too dramatic, I mean, after being in this industry for 30 years, I think that the fitness industry now is looking at the best opportunity it's ever had to get the healthcare message across. And I don't mean that. I know if people have been suffering out there in the last year because of COVID, but if you can carry on and get through it, I think we're going to go through a golden age of fitness. And, it's interesting that we talked about, we're talking on a day that F45 goes to the market for $1.5 billion valuation, which is fantastic for the industry. I remember, as I said at the beginning, when we floated on the London stock market in 1998, we went on the junior stock market, and then which was the aim, and then we went on a full listing. And, all those companies went on the stock market for about 10 companies listed, Holmes Place, Sporta, LA Fitness. There was a number of even public companies that went to the market. So it was an incredible moment for investors looking at fitness. And then we had that incredible situation in 2002 on the back of the .com collapse, where all the shares, Fitness First shares included, caught the tailwind of the .com crash. And because our financial stock was so highly valued, it was trading at about £14 at one stage. It was trading on 35, 37 times earnings, which was incredibly spicy, let's say. We were hammered when we gave a bit of bad news in 2002, where if I remember, it was a 28 million profit. The profitability was supposed to come in at 28 million. I think we came in at 24 million, and our share price collapsed. And in the matter of 2 weeks, all of the share prices of all of the listed fitness companies collapsed. And so, why am I telling you this? Well, it's because I remember thinking at the time that, it was obviously unfortunate and bad luck. So when you were talking about, the travails of the fitness clubs, then it really wasn't the operational problems. It was really that there were certainly mistakes made. There was certainly overexpansion. But fundamentally, the crash came about because a lot of these fitness companies, and Fitness First was probably the primary one because it always had the highest valuation, was that we were caught in with the .com, the whole stock market was overvalued. But I also remember thinking, if these times will ever come back, and it's now 2021, and look what's happening now in the industry. F45 going to the market, Planet Fitness are flying. The gym group in the UK is doing well. But I think now is the opportunity from COVID and from an investment community angle, where there's a great opportunity for us as an industry to really, really get the message out there on healthcare. And why would I do differently now than then? Well, it's getting the investment community to understand that fitness is not a fad. And I think we're getting there. I think we've got the platform now. And one of the things I remember saying to myself, if we ever get into this situation again, the public companies have got to keep banging the drum. This is not about just aesthetic. This is not just about looking good. It's great having young people looking great. This is about healthcare. This is about prevention. This is about, giving older people independence in their later life, rather than having a hip operation, which is going to cost the local governments, billions or millions and millions of dollars, pounds, whatever. So I think this is a very exciting moment for us. And let's see if we can take that moment. And so going to the 50 plus or older market, it's a tough market. I don't feel 57. I still play rugby. I still play for the veterans team, very active, lots of friends and family, same as me. Like yourself, you're not going to go to an over 50 club. So it's, you can't patronize older people. People want to go and work out. They want to work out hard, but they want expertise. They want somebody like them. So when I'm opening, we just opened a club in Sant Cugat in my hometown here, just outside of Barcelona. And what are we doing this week? We started our pre-sale. And I'll go down to the pre-sale because, you only get one chance to make a first impression, as the saying goes. And I'll go and spend, the first couple of weeks, as much time as I can on the stand with people, talking to the community, getting feedback, understanding how it's being received, and talking to people. And a lot of people come up to me who are more or less my own age, and they're kind of coming up to me saying, look, I'm a little bit concerned about the gym. It's a little bit intimidating. They're going to come up to me, but they're not going to come up to myself at 25 or let's say 26. I obviously didn't have the same empathy when I was 25 and starting out as a trainer in Fitness First as I do now at 57. Understanding that as you get a bit older, you do have some challenges, although you don't want to admit it. I have 3 kids I have to look after. I have time issues as everyone. So it's very, very simple. You've got to hire more trainers with the empathy or the same age as the people we're trying to attract. And I was talking to someone the other day. We've got a great couple of franchisees in the UK at our Milton Keynes head office club, Rob and Claire. And they've got a 72-year-old trainer in their gym. And guess what? The 72-year-old trainer is in actually very good shape for 72-year-old, and he's attracting all that people as a role model to come into the gym. But that's a very simple solution, to attracting those markets. So again, we're making a commitment here to employ trainers of all different ages as role models for the different demographic that you want to represent and that you want to attract.